Celsius K von Fahrenheit.
Dr. Holocaust.
You thought you could escape me, but now I will have my revenge.
Wait, what?
Oh, fine, revenge.
No, I understand what you're saying. What revenge?
You beat me in the Mad Science Fair.
What, you mean that thing? That was like 4 years ago.
Well, revenge is a dish best served old.
I think that's supposed to be cold.
I think it's supposed to be shut up.
Yeah, about that, I kind of wanted to apologize to you about the fair. I sort of cheated.
Cheated? You built a box that basically does nothing. How could you cheat at nothing?
Well, I'm not actually really mad.
No, not mad. What do you mean not mad? You do all the inventing and science stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not a mad scientist.
I'm not following you.
I'm a sane scientist.
That's a sane scientist? There's no such thing, man.
Okay, just forget that. I was actually looking for you. I want to interview you.
An interview? What sort of trick is this?
It's not a trick. I interview strange and wonderful people, and I think it's kind of wonderful that you're Toronto's greatest supervillain, and I don't think I need to explain the strange part.
It may be advantageous for me to address the masses of my future brave citizens. You may proceed.
God, I hope this wasn't a bad idea. Ladies, gentlemen, greetings, and welcome to the Kinetoscope Parlour, where we meet strange and wonderful people. I'm your host, Baron Celsius von Fahrenheit, and today we dabble in the dark side a little bit, since we have with us Toronto's greatest supervillain, Doctor Holocaust. Welcome to the Kinetoscope Parlour.
Happy to be here.
You're Toronto's self-proclaimed greatest supervillain.
Yes.
What does that entail exactly?
Well, I would say that entails something along the lines of $250,000 of property damage to either government or corporate funded places or items. Bi-weekly, that's once every 2 weeks, not twice a week. Kidnappings of individuals that have to vary from race and gender from one kidnapping to the next. Combat with forces of justice, either municipal or government or international, at least once a month. And twice a year, there's like a cancer fund thing.
I see. So, are you more the kind of villain that dominates or destroys?
Oh, definitely domination. I mean, well, I do enjoy a really good bout of destruction, the ultra-violence, I like to call it. I do intend, in my long goal, my modus operandi, if you will, is definitely world domination.
So your objective is not just to take over the city or the country, you want to take over the world entirely?
Absolutely. World domination, total world domination at that, is my end goal. I'm hoping to, at some point or another, in a sense, correct humanity.
So you want to take over the world for a good cause?
Well, that depends. I mean, a lot of people need change, but despise it in almost every form. For example, if a child is being fed vegetables by their parents, they're being made to go to bed at a proper hour, and they're being made to go outside and get exercise at a regular basis, they view their parents as a villain. Though that parent is doing necessary things in order to ensure proper healthy growth in their child.
And you want to be the parent of the world?
Basically, yes. I think that there are a lot of very large and drastic changes that need to be implemented in order to combat large, drastic issues that we're facing. There's no sugar packet or band-aid solutions for things like climate change and world hunger and things like that. We need to have large, very drastic changes, and in order to do so, I'm afraid I'm not going to need the cooperation of everyone.
So you're really not happy with how things are run right now?
God, no! I mean, there is at any given time, even just in North America, Canada and the United States, we have a government system that we've placed our faith in, that we have given them the power to allow us to straddle that line between freedom and order. Because if you want to have freedom, all freedom, you'll just have chaos. In order to have peace, you must take freedom away. We ride that line in between right now, and we've given these people our lives to take care of us, and they've succumbed almost completely to greed and self-centered just bullying.
You're also a scientist. Some people would say mad scientist, but let's not dwell on that.
Right.
I'm curious to see how such an exceptional individual as yourself would translate into meta-reality, a level of reality even more real than ours.
Really?
Yes, would you want to try?
Certainly.
Okay. Let me just get my meta-realitator. And you are?
My name is Conal MacBeth.
And you're what, the actor who played Doctor Holocaust?
Well, not just the actor. I mean, I also wrote and created the character.
Okay, so he's a persona you created for yourself. Why did you choose to make him a supervillain?
Well, since I was a kid, I've always wanted to try to tell the story of a supervillain. I'd written a lot of really terrible comics when I was a child about superheroes, doing all kinds of things. I shot a lot of short films about superheroes when I was in high school. But I thought characters like No Heart from the Care Bears, or Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. Who were these people? They kind of cheaped me out when I was a kid by saying oh, maybe Dr. Claw is Inspector Gadget's brother or something, and I was like, I don't care about that. None of that stuff makes any sense. What drives a man to be that? No Heart had the castle, he had the minions, he had the cauldron and everything, he had the evil laugh, and he had his enemies, the stupid bears that he fought all the time. But the entire time as a kid, I'm watching this show going, who is that? We get to see into the lives of everyone else, even Beastly and Shriek, whatever her name was, the Shrieking Woman, and all of the Care Bears. We see every aspect of their lives except No Heart. The only thing we see of No Heart is he's gazing into a cauldron and giving orders to people and being evil. And that's it. Where did that person come from? At one point in time, No Heart was born as a child and grew up, had hopes and dreams and loves and aspirations, had bills to pay and fears and everything. What turned No Heart into that creature? What turned Dr. Claw into that villain, that hand that you always see off the side? You never see anything more than him flying away in his fancy car. I always wanted to tell that story because I felt, frankly, that villains were more interesting to me. They had more juice. They had more variety, frankly.
The Doctor has some pretty radical ideas about the world. Do you share any of these?
Mostly, yeah. I mean, almost all of them. I mean, when I was a couple of years ago, I got in a really bad accident and I ended up in the hospital, and I just very nearly bit the bullet. And at the time when I got out and I got better, I thought to myself, what do I really want to do with my life? And at my core, it was I want to help people. I want to save people. But I was too small to be a fireman and too small to be a police officer, and I was already too old at this point to be a doctor. And even thinking of all those things, I was like, what if I was a big enough person to be a fire person? Would I still want to do that? And the answer is no. Because I think that while their jobs are integral to society, I find that they're cleaning up the mess. They're stopping a problem after it's already started, and I don't think that's acceptable. At my core, I was like, the only way to fix the problems that we're facing, really big, drastic, horrifying issues with our human race, with our society, the only way to fix that is to take control forcefully and do that. And I thought to myself, I can't actually do that. That's ridiculous. So I'm going to write about a character who does, who sees the world as broken and sick and festering, and figures that the only way to resolve this problem is to give absolutely everything he's got to being a supervillain.
You have a show starring the Doctor called The Warfront.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Warfront is kind of an opinion lover's show. It's the opinion of a supervillain on just regular everyday things like the cons that I've been to, different movies and things that are coming out, different things that are happening politically around the world, just almost anything and everything just from a villain's point of view.
And doing that show, is that your full-time job?
God, I wish. Oh god, how I wish. No, my full-time job kind of varies from time to time. There's times I worked at a bank, or I worked at a wine place, or right now I'm going to school to learn how to be an electrician. And it's all just support stuff. Like, I've got a Patreon account currently where I make a bit of money. And God bless the people that currently donate to that. They've saved my bacon more times than I can describe. But I hope at some point in the future, if I get enough people following, that I can get enough money from something like Patreon, like people donating like $5, $2, enough people doing that I can just live on that money. And I can just make this content full time. I can just do videos whenever, and I don't have to waste a bunch of time trying to make ends meet.
So if it's not enough for you to live off of it, what motivates you to keep doing it?
It's fun. I mean, like, I started doing this stuff with absolutely no intention to make money off of it. I mean, same thing with everything that I've been doing. I want to tell a story. I love telling stories. I love being a storyteller, and originally I wanted to do this in a comic, and enough people pulled my leg to get me to start making videos, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of pain and sickness and everything, but it's worth it, every inch of it. Even if I don't make a dime, at the end of the day, if I can, at some point, motivate someone to do better, or be better, just one person, I've succeeded.
And you have future projects for the doc?
Good God, yes. In terms of props and things like that, I've got the next mechanolith, the next like armor suit that I've got designed and ready to go. We just need the money for parts. After that, there are several ray guns that are in varying stages of construction currently in the lab. There's a lot of short videos that I'm planning. The revenge against Professor Skull is one of the big things that I'm building towards. The death of a few other characters as well, we're building towards that. So, you know, all things in time.
So it's now time for your geek question.
Okay.
But I'd like to ask it to the doc. So do you think I can turn you back into him without danger to my safety?
No.
Welcome back.
Yes.
For your geek question, I would like to know if, God forbid, a superhero were to ever defeat you, which one would you want it to be?
That is a tough question, because I'm not necessarily sure that if a hero were to bring me down, that they would be able to sort of carry on the changes that I'm trying to bring in an effective manner. I believe the only person that may do a good enough job would be Iron Man. A good tech-on-tech fight.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us and for not taking your revenge on me.
Well, the night isn't over yet.
Indeed. That's all for today. I'm Baron Celsius von Fahrenheit, telling you to stay weird, and we shall meet again at the Kinetoscope Parlour. You know, I'm really glad that we managed to kind of work things out. It turned out very interesting. And, well, I mean, we're Canadians. Even our supervillains are nice. So how could we not get along?
Yeah, I mean, hey, isn't there a hockey game on right now?
I believe you're right. The remote's over there. I'll get the beer.
Here's PK. Good cross ice pass. Bookends. Markov. PK fires. Great save.
Yes, go Leafs!
Shut off Bernier as
What?
well by Galchenyuk.
What did you say?
Loopholes in the center.
Hi guys, Alex here. First of all, if you haven't seen Doctor Holocaust show yet, go see it. He's entertaining and fun and remarkably pertinent for a supervillain. If you are a Doctor Holocaust show and it's your first time here, I invite you to have a look at the other episodes and discover some more strange and wonderful people. This episode was a lot of fun to do, but it was hard. We filmed this during G-Anime at a convention in Gatineau. Conal was there as a guest. He had animated the masquerade and did a lot of events during the day. I was there as an independent media, so I had spent the whole day filming, and the only time we found to do this episode was after midnight on Saturday. So both of us were beat even before we started, and we finished like at 3 in the morning. So yeah, it was hard. All the locations we wanted for the little confrontation at first were either already occupied or closed down because we were too late. So we just ended up finding an abandoned corridor somewhere and filming there. There was some weird electrical noise, so I had to find noise cancelling software to remove that. But I think it came out pretty well, and now I have noise cancelling software, so it should help for the next episodes. We talk about a science fair in the episode. That's something that really happened in 2011 at the Canadian National Steampunk Exposition. The very first time I went to an event, to a convention as the Baron. And Doctor Holocaust actually has a video or two on that. I'll put the links in the description. I invite you to have a look at that. You'll see me when I really wasn't mastering my character very well, but it was still pretty nice. I've been wanting to do this episode with Doctor Holocaust for even since I was developing the show, the concept for the show. And back then I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the episode with Conal or with the Doctor. And that's actually how I came up with the idea of the meta-realitator. I thought that way I could do both, and I ended up using it for a lot of characters, a lot of show episodes before. But it's nice to finally use it for the purpose I actually invented it for. So on that, I'll leave you, and like I said, go have a look at Doctor Holocaust if you haven't. Have a look at the other episodes if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye.